on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That foreign show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That foreign show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That foreign show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That foreign show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That foreign show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That foreign show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That foreign show. That foreign show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That foreign show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That foreign show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That foreign show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That foreign show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That foreign show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show.
ADR Networks presenta Las opiniones expresadas en este programa son responsabilidad exclusiva de quienes las emiten y no representan necesariamente el pensamiento o alguna posición oficial de este medio de comunicación. ADR Networks presenta.
This is Celestine Angel.
And I'm Isa Crouch.
And this is...
Foreign Show!
On that foreign show.
ADR Networks presenta.
This is Celestine Angel.
And I'm Isa Crouch.
And this is...
Foreign Show!
On that foreign show.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the show, That Foreign Show. My name is Isaac Rakesh.
And I'm Celestine Angel. We are here on ADR Networks, activating your senses. So we are going to jump right in. We are going to talk about Suve. This is an Indian restaurant that we found. Actually, is because one of our guests, Ritik, he, being a stand-up comedian, he actually held a comedy club right here, and we were there last weekend. We were pleasantly surprised.
Pleasantly surprised by the, not just by the set, which was funny as usual, crazy as usual. Ritik and he had a couple of other comedians that came down. A big shout out to them also. But also by the food. We actually tried. I tried some naan, that they had over there, Kashmiri style kind of naan, and it was really delicious.
I mean, for me, the main thing was that, when I think about going to an Indian restaurant, I think of it looking pretty traditional and like with, a setting that is more boring in a manner of speaking, but this place is vibrant and very exciting. It's right in the heart of Roma Norte, so It's conveniently located. It feels like a fun spot. You go there and it's like a bar as well, with all these neon lights you can see in the photos. And we actually did a little shoot there since Carrick, my brother, who was also a guest on that foreign show in season 1. He came and he brought his camera. He's a photographer, so we did like a little shoot. We had a super day actually.
Real fun vibes, great vibes. The food was great. The food is on point, so highly recommended here on That Insider on that foreign show. Go and check the food out. Suve on Instagram, they're actually Suve_Indian food.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like we would also like to share with you about this day itself because it was just so incredible. We went to Inak first to have dinner with Ski, also another guest.
Big shout out to Ski.
So we went to Inak and the food was super on point. Again, Inak is an Indonesian restaurant. We also covered it on the show, and we also have had the boss of Inak, Uli, an Indonesian lady, to on our show as well. So like these are all like people that you can check out and places that we recommend. And so we went there, and I just want to share with you about our day. We went. It was like a group of us, and like Uli was so sweet. She actually made sambal kangkong for us, which is she said that in Spanish is called agua de espinaca or something like that. And like back in Asia, we have it super spicy. We always have it with sambal, which is a chili that we eat in Southeast Asia. So like basically having sambal kangkong. I mean, she treated us to it. It was so nice of her, and she was so excited to cook it for us. And like we really felt at home, and which is what she wanted us to feel. She wanted us to feel like we are at home.
Yeah, great homely vibes in the place, and it's a nice place, to chill also. If you want to do a dinner and you want to, or lunch, and you actually want to talk to people, it's very homely, and you can actually feel very relaxed while you're having your food.
Yeah, and also like we had so we all had like main dishes, which I will mention some. Like basically I had char kway teow, which is like a thicker noodle. It's something that I will eat very often in Southeast Asia, so I was very excited to see it there, because the last time we were there I didn't even think about it, because I didn't even know that Indonesia would have it, because it's so Singaporean as well. Okay, so yeah, like little background since we are on it.
I had the ayam penyet, which is a kind of a smashed or pressed kind of chicken, right? It's like you the chicken is flattened, and then you have it with rice, and of course you have it with the belacan and all of that sauce stuff. We brought some friends down to go eat the food, and the reviews were great. Everyone enjoyed the ayam penyet and also the chili sauce that was put on top of it. It's just delicious, so comes highly recommended also here.
Right. So as I was saying, right, like if you didn't know yet, Isaac and I, we are Singaporeans, and we're from Southeast Asia, and Indonesian food is a staple for us over there. Back in Singapore, like we would eat it like frequently, because I mean Indonesian food is also there are also crossovers with Malay food and Singaporean food in general, basically. So yeah, and then after that we went to watch Ritik do his stand-up routine at Suvai, which is what we're featuring right now. And then afterwards, because Ski was with us, DJ Ski, Sky High, I don't know, he's cool with me saying it anyway. So Ski told us there's like a night DJ, a real Mexican DJing event, and so we were like, okay, what's it about? We thought it was like a pop-up club or something, and we decided to like go and check it out. And when we arrived, it was like a real old school vibe. It's so
Old school,
fun.
new school, and in fact, one of the DJ was saying that
It's
kind
called
of like
True School.
yeah, those kind of vibes, So it's a mix, a real hip hop kind of thing, So you have hip hop going on, East Coast, West Coast, all of the styles, right? And then they're mixing it in with cumbia and some other kind of those kind of vibes. So and switching back and forth. And they had MCs going, I was going also. It was a real cipher.
Basically, we joined in and we jammed, and basically it was a hell of a day. And this is something that we can really enjoy being here in Mexico. It's like you flow, and like a lot of cool things happen, and we're just in the moment, and we are just ripping all the juice out of life,
For sure. Big shout out to Aztec, DJ Aztec, who was on deck. And big shout out to Roots Congo, and also a big shout out to Disco Strut. That's the name of the place that we were at. It's a real hip hop kind of vibe, kind of bar. So if you want to go check those places out, go check them out. We might put the links of these on our post. So you guys can actually check it out. Disco Strut is one of the places that you can find on Instagram.
Yeah, it's a record store. We can definitely put all these information up on Instagram. We were going to share you everything we talk about because it's all super fun.
Yes.
Our guest is not online yet, so we are going to go to commercials for like a brief second while I check on her, and then we'll be back.
Peace.
We
are going to a break, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
On the foreign show.
Hola, soy Eddie Cadena.
Yo soy Ale García. Y yo, Mariana Torres. Y te invitamos a que no te pierdas TFS,
Un programa del mundo del entretenimiento donde tocaremos temas como música,
teatro, televisión
artistas invitados, cine, series.
y mucho más. Así que te la pasarás TFS todos los sábados a la 1 de la tarde
Por ADR Networks.
activando tus sentidos.
Algunos dicen que el Café de las 10 es el programa más interesante de Internet.
Otros dicen que el Café de las 10 es el programa más inútil de Internet. La verdad es que no lo sabemos.
Lo que sí sabemos es que de las 10 de la mañana a las 12 del día vas a pasar un rato muy agradable hablando de diferentes temas como
Noticias, videojuegos, actualidad, videojuegos, política, videojuegos, salud.
Mira, no te lo pierdas. De lunes a viernes a las 10 de la mañana, escucha el Café de las 10 en ADR Networks.
Activando tus sentidos.
Escúchenos, perros. Inicia tus mañanas con buena actitud, bien informado en temas de actualidad, salud, noticias, entretenimiento y todo lo que quieres saber respecto a tu día a día.
Estás escuchando ADR Networks.
Yo soy Monse Guarneros.
Yo soy Fer Gómez.
Y yo Lalo López, y esto es Tu Voz, Unidos por Ti.
Historias de una fundación que ha llegado a tu hogar y que ha solucionado muchos problemas de ustedes.
Ayuda, dona, apoya y síguenos en nuestras redes sociales.
Además, sigue nuestras transmisiones a través de ADR Networks todos los jueves a partir de las 8 de la noche.
Activando tus sentidos.
El Café de las 10, de lunes a viernes a las 10 de la mañana.
¡No se lo pierdan! ¡Véanlo, perros!
Que no puedes decir perros al aire.
Ay, sí lo he dicho al aire. Además, tú ni viniste a la fiesta de fin de año, güey.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Yo soy Alberto Morales.
Y yo soy Yolanda Muedano.
Y te invitamos a nuestro programa Jite Karate Do, Artes Marciales y Deportes de Contacto.
Todos los lunes en punto de las 9 de la mañana.
Para platicar de lo mejor de las artes marciales.
Aquí en ADR Networks.
Y ADR Sports.
Activando tus sentidos marciales.
Hola, yo soy Javi Gamboa y te invito a que no te pierdas todos los jueves en punto de las 9 de la noche Naked Lunch con lo mejor del rock y el metal, el soundtrack de tu vida, entrevistas y mucho más. Ayúdanos a desnudar a nuestros invitados por ADR Networks, activando tus sentidos. Yeah.
Hola, yo soy Alicia Rábago y te invito a que todos los viernes a las 9 de la mañana no te pierdas Acompañándonos. Es un programa que tiene temas de salud, de educación, de bienestar, de crecimiento personal, de estar y compartir. Son programas de interés para ti, para mí y para todos. Así que te espero los viernes 9 a.m. en Acompañándonos por ADR Networks.
Hola, soy Hanna de la Madrid y te invito a que todos los jueves en punto de la 1 de la tarde nos acompañes en el programa Psycho Mom. Estaremos hablando de temas de actualidad y los retos que enfrentamos las mujeres en nuestro día a día. ¿Por dónde? En ADR Networks, activando tus sentidos.
Hey guys, we're back at TFS. Thank you for staying with us.
On the foreign show.
Hey guys, welcome back to
And
the
we are back.
show. Yes.
Activating your senses.
Yes.
So we have Angela Choi with us. Where is she?
Welcome to the
We'll
show.
wait for her. Okay. Angela, are you there? Angela?
Alright.
Okay, we are seeing a black screen. I think she might
she's
be
gonna try to log in
having
again.
some technical difficulties. Okay, so we are just going to give a little bit more background about us in case you're new to the show. So we are the host of That Foreign Show. My name is Celestine Angel and
I'm
it's
Isaac
Isaac
Rakesh.
Rakesh. And we are also the vocalists of Illuminary,
Yes.
which is a Singaporean audiovisual music project. I'm from Singapore. So we are very excited to use this podcast to study our experiences here in Mexico because we have found the experience incredibly transformative.
Yes, and also this learning, this understanding kind of lends into the subjects that we talk about on the show.
Yes.
Kind of like the subject we're going to talk about right now, actually, the nomadic lifestyle
Exactly.
with Angela Choi. And
So-
once she gets on, we're going to get into it.
Yeah, so Angela is exactly studying this. She's a nomad and she's been traveling the world, and like her whole process has been about self-discovery. And like just a little background about the theme of today is that she has been in Mexico like for 6 months, and it's the longest she has been anywhere in 5 years. So we have so much to dig into
Wow,
to
that's
ask
really
her
interesting.
about.
That's really interesting.
Mhm.
And also about how this is kind of, influence her work.
Mhm.
Because she's a writer.
Yes.
And she also, we want to get into that and also ask her about this nomadic lifestyle and how she actually makes it work,
Right, yeah. Basically, this point is important that she is a writer. She is a published writer. You can find her book on Amazon. So we will show that later, and also like just to let you know that her internet is unstable, and that's why she is not able to be on right about now. So let's hope that it all gets
worked out.
Yeah.
Here we go. Hi.
Angela.
Can you see us? Hi. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome to the show. Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you and see you, but
You're kind of soft though.
yeah, you're pretty soft. Hello?
Can you hear us?
Angela? Can you hear us? How do we can we increase the volume?
Hi. Yes, okay, we're gonna make some adjustments here.
Yeah, we can't hear you, so you give us a second, okay?
I can't hear you. No, I don't need to.
Oh, your thing is jumping. We can't.
Never mind. We're just going to do our best here, and like if you get cut off, just keep coming back. Okay.
Yes.
I hope you can hear us.
Give us a thumbs up if you can hear us.
Her screen is also frozen.
Frozen, yeah. Well, maybe we can get into this topic, for the people who are watching. Our kind of our angle about this,
Yes. I was thinking that like we can share with the audience some of the questions that we were actually going to ask her.
That's a great idea. Yes, let's do that.
So yeah, we have actually broken it down to a few categories. So like the first part, we were just going to ask her about her background. I mean, you can see that she is Chinese American. Okay, this is how she calls herself, Chinese American. She, I think she's first generation Chinese in America. So she already has that like cultural identity issues to work through, just being a minority in America, of course. And then like we want to jump in straight away in the very first few questions about what is keeping her in Mexico like the longest, because that is actually something very important to us, like because we find Mexico so special. This country is so ripe for like interesting experiences. So
yes,
yeah,
and it's something that we kind of relate.
Okay, can you hear us now, Angela?
Yes, hi. Hopefully I can hear you now.
Okay, cool.
All right, that's great. Welcome to the show.
Is this the loudest we can get from her? Like,
okay,
can raise the volume?
Over here.
Sorry. Okay, so
yeah, it's the max.
Okay, no, it's okay. No, this is our mic volume. Yeah. Okay, close it. Let's just jump in and ask you questions now before it goes sideways. Okay.
Right.
Okay, so we have already spent some time introducing you, and it'll be good if we can like talk about your background a little bit. I really can't tell if you can hear me. Okay, this is seriously not going.
Yeah, this is not working at the moment. I suggest. Okay, she's gone and she's gonna come back in. So let's just continue with.
Okay, she's saying
the questions that of what you were talking about. This point that you mentioned that we kind of vibe with also about how Mexico is actually the place that she's chosen to stay the longest, right? And
I mean, we right now at this moment we don't know if there's a particular reason or it's just happening this way. So, but it'll be interesting to delve into it. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe we can tell the people about our personal experience, about with regards to this point of actually, being here and as an artist, being artists. For us, we actually feel that Mexico actually has offered a kind of something for us to explore the art,
Yeah.
And it's kind of for lack of a better way of putting it, it's actually an absence of something, I would say. Not really something that's offering. More of like a space,
Like absence of something meaning what? Like for example?
Like it's not that something, it's maybe an absence of a certain kind of structure, a certain kind of structure that, or regularity, or kind of a fixed schedule kind of thing, that.
Yeah. When like everywhere is so structured, it makes you feel like you cannot be free to express or whatever, right? Like along those lines.
And of course, when I'm saying this, you got to take it a pinch of salt because it really depends on what you do, right? If you're working here in a job, of course the structure and everything will be there. And in our case also, we are doing art, but we're also running our own business. So we kind of implement a kind of structure ourselves. But what I'm actually talking about here is kind of a intangible kind of feeling, right? That allows people to explore their art,
But also, I think mainly the reason why you can feel this way in Mexico is because the general consensus, the reality, the shared perspective, has a very strong being in the present moment kind of style. Like I mentioned this countless times in all our shows, that like in general, people here and we as well don't talk about the 5-year, 10-year plan, which is so important in like back home. And I'm thinking like maybe in the US as well, like because you're considered not responsible if you don't prepare ahead, right? And like,
and also again another
hello,
disclaimer.
Better. It looks better. So
yes, this is
yeah.
So many technical difficulties.
significant improvement. Like we can see movement.
Yeah, you're not lagging, you're not frozen, everything is fine now. But like, how are you hearing us well and all that? Can you hear us?
We can hear you.
Do we need to raise this? No, right?
No, I don't think so. Can you hear us now? What about now?
Let me just check something. No, but I think that if there is no sound from us, Katya would have told us.
Are you able to hear us?
Can you hear me?
Now, yeah, we can hear you. Like
it's kind of laggy, but if we, I guess, take it slow in between the sentences,
Okay.
we can get this done.
Hopefully this works. Okay.
Yes.
I tried
okay.
Not working. Hi. So many technical difficulties.
Hi.
It's so nice to be here.
Yes. Welcome
nice to
the
meet
show.
you
Nice
too,
to meet
Angela. Yeah, like you know what? Since we have talked so much just in preparation for you to arrive, right? Like introducing and all that. Like, can you just start talking to the audience now and tell us more about your background and what you're doing in Mexico? Blah blah blah. Okay.
Yes.
Please.
Yes. Hi everyone. Thank you for your patience. Yeah. So in a nutshell, I accidentally became a nomad 3 years ago. And the long of the story is that in January of 2020, I had just left my job and I got a one-way ticket to India. And it was supposed to be in my head like a 6-month trip, but obviously COVID hit in March of 2020. And so I went home and I couldn't travel and didn't want to do the 9 to 5 again, and started teaching yoga online and coaching people. And then about a year later, in March of 2021, after spending lockdown in New York City in winter of 2020, I decided to get a one-way ticket to Mexico because I was going a little stir crazy in New York during the height of the pandemic. And I got to Mexico. I was in Puerto Vallarta at the time and stumbled upon the nomad life. I realized that people had been doing this since pre-pandemic, and that's how I accidentally became a nomad. And I was at it for a while, and you know, we can talk about this. There's so many beautiful elements of the nomadic lifestyle, and you know, with anything else in life, there are drawbacks as well. And I started burning out from traveling, which I never thought I would say, but that is also a reality. And as life would have it, I found myself back in Mexico again, but this time in Mexico City. And so I've kind of been hunkering down for the last 6 months, which is a very long time for me, but 6 months is not that long in the grand scheme of things. Mm-hmm. And so that's my journey in a nutshell for the last like 3-4 years.
Right. And Angela, like, you know, because we're talking specifically about nomadic lifestyle, so like how do you actually make a decision to move from one place to the next? Like, is it like just flow, like, you know, this, like, how do you make the decisions?
Yeah. So when I first started, there were some logistical considerations at that time. when my grandma was still alive, I very much had to factor in like, oh, I want to see her every few months and make sure she's okay. And so I limited my choices to essentially Latin America so that it's very easy to just go back to New York. And then as time went on, and then eventually she did end up passing away. And when that happened, I felt like, okay, now I can go further out without thinking about like logistical considerations of coming back to New York. And I would say that like it's part, like a big part of it was intuition. And sometimes it was just like, okay, where is it that I want, like, for example, the first year I did this, like in October, I knew I wanted to be back in Mexico because of Day of the Dead. And I felt this very strong pull to be in Oaxaca for that. And so I would plan around that, right? And then after I didn't have the logistical concerns, I went back to Asia, which is like where I really wanted to be, because ultimately one of my bigger goals was to get back to India because I had to leave so abruptly. So there, it's like part intuition, part like things I want to do at a certain time, and then part logistical considerations.
Right. I mean, like, okay, so you were working as like just writing the whole way when you were traveling, or like how did you manage all the like logistical sides of things, like, you know, surviving and stuff? Because I mean, I think this is interesting for other people who want to know about how to live a nomadic life, you know.
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. So, you know, looking back on the experience, like, to be quite honest with you, as a solo traveler, there are a lot of logistical considerations, like where am I going to live? Is it close to things that I need access to? How am I going to plug in and make friends and build community? And I will say that when I look back on doing that, like that actually takes a lot more mental and emotional energy than I probably gave myself credit for when I was in it. Because there's so much decision fatigue. Like there were times where I would, you know, either like a visa would run out or I would need to go somewhere else. And then I would have to decide, okay, where am I going? And then start that whole process over again. And so I would say it's this multi-step process of like, okay, deciding where I'm going to go. And then like in the process of figuring that out, it's like, does the place, will I resonate with the place? Like, are there communities there that resonate with me? Like, where do I want to live? How long approximately do I think I'm going to stay there? And so there are just a lot of balls to juggle. And it was actually during, partially because like of coaching, like I would send out emails and then I actually just started writing on the side because I've always enjoyed writing. So I was taking a lot of online writing classes. And then it just kind of naturally happened. And when I was in my 20s, I went through 3 rounds of what people would call a quarter life crisis. I actually don't like that term because I think there's a very
3 rounds of that.
3 rounds.
Okay.
Yes. And I don't like that term because I feel like the word crisis has such a negative connotation to it. I feel like it's a rite of passage to be questioning, like, what am I doing with my life? Is this what I want out of my life, right? And so when I was going through it, I just had this thought, one day when I'm on the other side of this, I'm going to write about this. I just had this inkling that I was going to do it. And then I would say, I think it was like 2 years ago when I was like, I'm on the other side of it. I can write about it now. And so it just, sometimes the way that I think about it is like, we can think about karma as it relates to like our lives and our relationships, but I also feel that there is karma that's happening when we feel like we need to birth or create something in this world. And like, I felt that way about my book. Like, I feel such just like a karmic pull to write it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. It totally makes sense.
I mean, that pull to write it is like something that you feel it's it's something. It's like a pool of an artist, that to make art, right?
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah,
not just a
and
decision, but it's something that you feel like you really just have to do, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
like I think maybe this is a good time if Katya, if you could put Angela's book on Amazon. And like, could you tell us more about the book? So I've noticed, actually, sorry to interrupt, but I've noticed because you send me some articles as well, right? So this one is like 10 ways something, and the other one was 4. So you do have this like structured style of like, putting your thoughts down. Yeah, can you share more? Thank you.
Yeah. So I did go through a phase where I'd be like, 4 ways to do this, 10 ways to think about that. But I've definitely shifted out of that phase.
Okay.
I think like it worked out this 10 years since I graduated when I like thought about writing the book. And so it's like, 10 life lessons in 10 years. And it just made sense because it took me many years to like go through this process of like figuring out who I am, what I value, and like how I want to live my life. And so the book chronicles that journey of like how I left the corporate world and like how I dealt with imposter syndrome, how I dealt with people telling me that I was like wasting my education and my life. And it's also part social commentary. Like I don't directly, I think I allude to it and maybe I go about it in indirect ways, but there's this message that I also want to say like, I went to a good school, right? And I got a good education, but I don't think it prepared me or helped me understand what it means to live a good life or a meaningful life. Because like I just felt like I was doing what was expected of me and what other people around me were doing. And I really feel like I needed to have stepped outside of that bubble to have gone in the corporate world, realized that I didn't want to be in it, and then like be in a state of questioning and self-reflection and introspection to figure out like, what is it that Angela wants, irrespective of what other people think, of what other people are doing, of other people's expectations of me. And that takes time. Like answers, I think we like to think that answers come overnight, but I don't think that that's how it actually works.
No. Yeah, super agree with you. Like you need to absorb everything empirically, and like that whole thing is so personal that experience is crucial for that. Yeah.
Correct.
And so for you, travel has been it.
It's been a big part of it, and traveling was definitely a big part of my life. It's always been a part of my life, even before I became nomadic. I talk about this in my book as well. I took multiple sabbaticals when I was working, and I feel like traveling has been really important because, like, for many reasons. I think like I've always felt, for whatever reason, this need or desire to be able to prove to myself that I can do things on my own and be like an independent person and like conquer my fears. And so much of traveling was about that for me. Like, can I do these things on my own? Can I land in a place like I don't know anyone and like figure things out on my own? And like it's also like really helped me see that there are other ways of living and thriving, because I think what I knew was so narrow, because like most people were doing things a certain way, but then when you travel, you break out of your bubble and you realize that people think differently, they live differently, and it really expands like what you think is possible in your life.
Right.
It makes you more open-minded. And for me, I think a big part of it is like it's reinforced for me like what is important in my life. I think that there are a lot of things in the US or in like capitalistic societies that like we've normalized that actually like aren't healthy for us. And I think that when I've traveled, it's like you kind of go back to the basics, right? Like being in nature, being in community with people, like like in harmony with your environment, right? Versus being in a big city, which is actually not normal when you think about it. So it makes you question and reflect on a lot of things, at least for me personally. And so it really expands your mind. And I think like, because like the countries that I've visited, like a lot of them aren't as developed as the US. And I think that what ends up happening is like people live more in the present moment. And also like in Asia, you have like Buddhist influence. And so seeing people like embody that way of living, right? It's like they practice what they preach. And it was so helpful for me to be in places like Thailand and India, where like that culture is so embedded in their everyday lives. And it's helpful for me to like reframe the way that I think about things, because in the US, I think we're so productivity oriented, like success oriented. And I was very much a product of that environment. And so there was so much reconciliation to be had, right? Between like what I was familiar with and like how I saw other people like living their lives.
Right. So Angela, because we don't have that much time left, so I definitely want to talk about like your experience here in Mexico, and why did you decide to stay here the longest that you've had in 6 years? No, 5 years. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. You know that quote, there's a quote where it's like, you make plans and God laughs. This is not part of the plan.
Okay.
The plan was to land here for like a month or two to 3 months, like what I normally do. It was kind of like a pit stop to make my way back to Asia. Like that was the original plan. I wanted to mosey back to Asia. But 1 month just kind of bled into another month. And then at some point I started finding community here in terms of like writers communities and like storytelling, comedy communities. And like there's a place where I like to go dancing. And I reached a point where I was like, I don't want to leave this and then have to start all of that all over again.
Right.
And so I just kept staying, and here I am.
I mean, you are enjoying yourself. You found fun things to do here and stuff to dig into, basically, right? So, like, do you have any plans, like, in the near future?
No, I don't have. I have no idea where I'm going to be after this. I don't know how long I'm staying. Right now, the immediate plan is to stay here. I will also say, and you and I talked about this, is that in addition to like having community, like also just staying put in one place has been really helpful for deeper introspection. Because the thing is, like, when I used to constantly move, there was always something new to do, something new to see, new people to meet. And as fun and enlightening as that can be, the downside is that means less time with myself. But because I've stayed in one place, it's really facilitated or like enabled me to like be with myself and have a very normal life. And so more opportunities for me to stay in and just like really be with myself.
And given that you've been to so many countries, and would you say there's something particularly unique about Mexico City? Before you came on, me and Celestine were actually talking about this, and we were talking about how there's something here that allows you to, as an artist, to kind of get into your art in a deep way. What do you feel about that?
Yeah, I want to say that like I am so immensely grateful for every place I've been to, and Mexico is always going to have this special place in my heart because it's where I started my Nomad journey, and it's the most like extensively that I've explored a country because I've lived in different parts of Mexico. So it's been PV, Oaxaca, San Cristobal, and now Mexico City. And so in that way, I'm going to be grateful. I feel like, they say like Rumi has that quote, like what you're seeking is seeking you. And so I feel like every place that I've landed in Mexico has really supported me on that point in my journey, right? And so like when I was in Oaxaca, for example, that was the first time that I was introduced to Temescal. And for people, I think most people know what it is. For people who don't know, it's like a ceremonial sweat lodge, and you go in and it's a purification process, and it's very hard because it's like a sauna times 10. It's just very hot in there. But you're like returning to Mother Earth, and you're returning to the womb of the earth, and it's very symbolic. And when I did that for the first time, it was very healing for me, right? And so like Mexico has allowed me to have opportunities like that. But like right now, I think it's just being with people, again, like writing, storytelling, like I'm in that phase of my life. And to have people who are also doing those things has been really supportive and gratifying.
Right, and you also mentioned in your article that you spent 3 days in a dark room, a retreat in Thailand, and I thought that was so cool. Could you share with us a bit about that?
Yeah, so I did this maybe like a year and a half ago. Earlier I said that for whatever reason, there's a part of me that really wants to know that I can handle things on my own and be an independent person. And I think choosing to do a dark room retreat reflects that, because again, I'm not really sure, maybe this is worth me exploring, but I wanted to know that I could be by myself, for myself, with like nothing to distract me. Because before I did the dark room retreat, I've done like multiple 10-day silent meditation retreats. But when you're in the 10-day silent meditation retreat, you're still doing this with other people. Like, even though it's your solo journey, like, you know that there are people around you going through something, the same like difficulties, right? Of like sitting there and just being with yourself. And I wanted to take that to the next level, and I wanted to see if I could do that, really just be with myself and my thoughts and zero distractions, because in a dark room retreat, like, it's literally pitch black. And the things that I would normally do, for example, even though there was like a yoga mat laid out and I brought in like paper and my pen so I could journal, it's really disorienting to try to do like downward dog and you have no sense of space. And so like I didn't end up doing yoga. I journaled once out of like the 3 days I was there, because I couldn't figure out, like, am I writing on top? Like, even though I would fold the paper to try to get lines, it just felt so disorienting. And I was like, I think this is telling me to stop doing and to just be. And can you be with your boredom? Can you be with your thoughts? Can you be with nothing, right? Like, absolutely nothing. There was nothing to do. Wow. I got like, at the beginning of the day, they would slot me in like 2 coconut waters and like some fruits. So like, there's absolutely no distraction. And for me, it made me realize that like, yes, I can just lie there and just be, but it was so hard because the brain is constantly looking for things, right, to do, to occupy it. And so I had this moment where I was like, I can't do anything. I don't know how much time I have left in here, also because there's no sense of time. And so it really was about being. And then a big part of it, which I didn't realize going in, is that for like the first like 24 hours, a little more than that, like your body just resets and rests, because like it's pitch black. So you're producing like melatonin and you just go to sleep, and it's like resetting your body.
Wow, that sounds incredible. Yeah. So, like, after the 3 days, no. Like, I first have to ask. So, after the 3 days, somebody opens the door, and then you're like, yes, it's over. I come out to daylight. Like, how did it work?
And also, is it pitch black during the daytime as well?
Yes,
Yeah.
Wow. No windows, nothing, right? Yeah.
No windows. So the whole thing is pitch black. And the day that I exited, like, the woman who hosted me deliberately ends the retreat during essentially like when the sun rises. So it's not like too jarring, but when I came out, even though the sun was just rising, it was very jarring. Like it just felt like everything was super bright, because I'd spent like more than 72 hours in pitch darkness.
Yeah, surely. So actually, Angela, we have reached like the last few minutes of the show. So like, what thoughts do you have to impart to other people who might be interested to start living a more transient lifestyle?
anything is possible. If that's what you really want to do, definitely recommend connecting with people who have done it already. I'm always happy to talk to people, if not me, then someone else. And go after what you want. I like also feel like as I've gotten older, my tolerance for like different travel situations has gone down. And so I feel like generally speaking, the younger you are, the easier it is to do this. Not that, you know, I've met people on the road who are at different ages. I just think it's a little harder as you get older. So like, don't postpone it is what I'm trying to say. And like, do what speaks to you. And people may not agree, but it doesn't matter because it's your life. And it's important to go after the things that like really make you happy and make you feel excited, because what else is life about?
Right. So people can reach you on this website on www.angelatroy.co.
Yeah.
Your contact details are there, right? So they can talk to you and you can coach them on this.
So is that something you offer as well, like coaching or to guide people?
I do, yes. I also work as a coach. I do a lot of what I would say like mindset work with people, inner work, because the thing is like where we are in our lives right now, our present is very much informed by our past, and like the way that we show up in our lives, it's just like a series of habits and patterns that we've developed, and sometimes we're not aware of what's driving our actions or lack thereof. And so like bringing to awareness to people of why do you do the things you do? Why don't you do the things you do? Where does that come from? That's a lot of the work that I do.
Right. And you are a psychologist. I mean, that's what you were studying in school, right?
Yes, I'm not a psychologist, but I did study psychology in undergrad, and there's definitely like a psychology component to coaching and just like understanding human behavior. Yeah.
Okay, so we had such a great time chatting with you. It's too bad the earlier part was so crazy because there's so much more that we can chat about.
Really interesting the stuff that you're talking about, and it really speaks to us also, you know, about like living your best life and being the truest you that you can be.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. It was so lovely chatting with you guys.
Thank you. So I'm Celestine Angel.
I'm Isaac Rakesh.
And we have Angela Choi with us, and we're signing out here on ADR Networks, activating your senses.
Peace.
Thank you to all who joined us here on That Foreign Show. It's been awesome. I'm Celestine Angel.
And I'm Isaac Crouch, and we'll see you next Friday. Have a great weekend, y'all.